game. How about this one right here? Speaking of region championships.
I mean, basically, these two teams, when you put this, obviously Dillon still has Aner on the calendar. That should be a fun one. But right now, with how the records are stacked up, this was the game that we're going to say, okay, does Dillon come in here and do their thing, or does somehow Manning come into town and shock the county?
And shake it all up. Hey, man, Manning's playing well. Manning played well coming into this one, but Dillon's been lights out, man. I tell you what.
As usual.
You know, I'm really impressed by what Coach Roller's done in terms of a young football team, especially at quarterback, and they're getting play from all over the field from a lot of young guys.
Let's go ahead, roll those highlights for you and see how this one played out. Fireworks.
Always.
There in D-Town. We start this one off with Oxendine, hands off to Martin. Just barely muscles in for that short yardage touchdown. Very critical as Dillon takes the early 6-0 lead in the first. Manning has the ball. Doobie Daniels takes a snap and he sneaks it. A name like Doobie Daniels, you know he's going to be darn difficult to take down.
Yep.
Tie game, 6-6. Oxendine hands off to Martin. He sprints his way into the end zone. We got a battle in the trenches. Who is going to run the rock the hardest? And in this one, they were who we thought they were. Dillon takes it 43-20 over Manning.
Big win for the Cats. And Ty is one of those young men that we knew he could do what he is doing simply because he's an athletic running back, but he was one of those guys that was also kind of behind the scenes because of what Nemo was doing last year. But he's definitely stepped up, and then Oxendine is really growing up in front of our eyes. Well, Dillon's got Walk'em coming up next, and then they'll close out the season with Georgetown. Joining us now, live from the comfort of his office in the chair, is the one and only Kelvin Roller. And Coach, thanks for staying up with us. I know it's late. You guys' ball game ended quite a long time ago, but what did this game mean to you guys, knowing what was at stake going into tonight with region championship implications on the line and your team playing a very good bunch from Manning?
You're right. You know, both teams were undefeated in the region, and you know, there's been some traditional battles between Dillon and Manning over the years, and in some playoff races, and so you know, tonight was very important for both teams, and we were fortunate enough to get the win tonight. So our guys played well.
But your system is very complex. When you know it bodes well for you if you're a player. But if you're still trying to figure it out, especially if you're young, it takes its toll on a lot of players. But you have to be pleased by what you see from Oxendine and his growth over this season, because he seems to be picking up your system and running this offense the way I'm assuming you thought he could. But are you surprised he's doing it at such a young age and where you are right now in his growth?
Well, Josiah's done an exceptional job, you know, to be a freshman. He's head and shoulders above his age. So, you know, but we still have high expectations for him. But at the same time, we still got to, you know, let him mature and grow as a player. But he's such a mature kid for his age. And, you know, his growth level in the game of football is, I don't want to say seasoned yet, but he is somewhat a polished player as a ninth grader. But we've tried to lean on the veteran guys that we have this year, and those guys have done a great job, you know, around Josiah in our offensive line, and Ty Martin, Jamarion Fling back there in the backfield offensively, and then we've got some guys, you know, on defense like Anthony Grant and Chris McCollum and Sermod McCallum. Those guys have, you know, those have been our veteran guys over the course of several years, and you know, they've been instrumental in our success this year.
You talked about Ty. Last year he got some carries and did well, productive. But being behind Nemo, obviously, you know, you're kind of somewhat be second fiddle. But he's really taken the reins this year and become your tailback, the star tailback of this thing. You got to be pleased by what you see from him, not only from what he's doing on the field, but also maturity level to kind of buy his time, but now he's definitely taken that and ran with it.
Yeah, Ty's been an explosive player. And, you know, last year he played wide receiver for us as well as running back. And this year, you know, he had to carry some of the load there, most of the load there in the backfield. I didn't really realize it, but he came into the game tonight with about 1,300 yards already. And somebody told me tonight he had about 200 in the first half. I didn't really realize that. But, yeah, I think, you know, Ty's just been an explosive player for us. And he's and I think he would be the first to give thanks to the guys up front. You know, those guys have done a tremendous job for us all year. There's some veteran guys for us, and you know, just can't say enough about what they've done thus far.
All right, Coach, you got 2 more games left in the regular season. You got Waccamaw next week, Georgetown. How do you keep your team focused on the task at hand with those 2 teams coming up and not really overlook them and prepare yourself for the playoffs?
Well, you know, we talk to our kids about, you know, practicing football, and a football season's a marathon, and it's not a sprint, and you want to be peaking at the right time in the year. And, you know, what you do in week 6 matters in week 9, and what you do in week 9 matters throughout the playoffs. So, you know, we make sure that we focus on ourselves as much as we do our opponent, and just try to improve every day at practice and each week. And hopefully, if you're lucky enough to get on through the playoffs and play deep in the playoffs, you're playing your best football at the right time of the year. That's what you want. And so, you know, our guys have been able to do that over the years, and so, you know, hopefully we'll do that this year.
All right, Coach. Hey, appreciate your time. Thanks for staying up late with us tonight. Congratulations on the win. Big win for you guys this evening. And we will talk to you down the road as we wind down the regular season. Thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you.
Thank y'all, Brandon. I just want to thank y'all for all y'all do for high school football and high school sports.
Thanks, Coach. That means a lot. We appreciate it.